And secondly, it's something that we should understand.
It also looks so. Thankfully, Avxry is actually playing from the Epic Games launcher, so we're feeling pretty good. I think off the bat.
Yeah,
He's
this
not
is insane.
Even
He's actually not even going to be using the screen to play.
Right.
One
he
of
doesn't
the
need to.
most incredible strategies I've seen so far is actually playing using his mind only. He's actually hooked up a Wii U and will be playing using the motion controls. So that's something that I'm very excited about here. The brand
you
new.
actually see him snapping. That's actually him deciding to jump out of the battle.
Yep,
bus,
using some of the those little micro things they attach to your body. He's going to be playing using his body and an Xbox Connect. Very excited to see how he's going to be able to do that, though. Domentos and Mongraal, we're going to see if they're really going to be able to just pop off right now. Because guess what, guys? It doesn't matter how old you are in Fortnite. You've got a chance to become a professional. All you got to do is get dedicated. Of course, focus on your schooling and focus on your Fortnite. All right?
It's true. Maybe Fortnite before school. We're not saying that, but I mean, hey.
What he means by that is play Fortnite before school in the morning and after school. But,
Yes.
of course, get that work done because you know what? You got to have options. I dropped out of college to become a full-time video game streamer and a YouTuber. And I want to let you guys know it's worked out for me, but I know some people it hasn't.
So I dropped out of college myself to work here at UMG.
For now.
And unfortunately, Avxry, in the bottom left of our screen, Avxry unfortunately stayed in the Epic Games launcher.
I'm actually concerned at this point.
And never survived. So, I guess the mind controls might have had a little bit of a malfunction.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be restarting this game, as we can see. Avxry, unfortunately, is having some issues. But, I mean, maybe we'll get to see if they're going to be restarting.
Okay, in all seriousness, I think that either Avxry did have an issue or he's using that as like his screen so people can't see where they're landing.
No, you can look at the screen over here on the right. Look at OP screen. Avxry is actually not in the game, or at least he's
out.
Or he's already
done.
dead?
Yeah, he decided to get a breakfast sandwich and then let his teammate finish out this.
Well, I'm kind of confused as to what's going on, but that's okay because I'm still Team Avxry and I'm still Team OP. Avxry, as you can see there, is actually not even spectating in the game, so I think there was, in fact, an issue, but they're playing it out nonetheless. So OP is going to go ahead and do #all the work, picking up that final kill. He's going to carry Avxry to victory, but Team Secret, of course, we know they're a dominant, strong team, young team, very talented team. We'll see if the young guns can come out and show a little bit of the old blood here.
Oh,
what's going on?
OP has no mats. Thankfully, he can edit, obviously, but he was like trapped, and he's like, I don't have. It's like a goldfish stuck in a bowl. Like, how do I get out of here? It's pretty intense up in the situation.
Looks like he's playing on a extremely high DPI. No shotgun in the back pocket. This could potentially be it here for this round one.
Oh my
gosh! Chased by 2.
Oh
my gosh! Don't do it to them, OP. Don't be that guy that ruins their day.
Oh no!
And he gets taken out. I was actually rooting for him there. When I say things like that, it means that I want it to happen.
Right.
Because if I say I want it to happen, then it's a caster's curse and he ends up not dying. So
absolutely.
It didn't work out for me in that time, so it's just reverse.
Yeah.
But Domentos and Mongraal, man, 0 kills apiece still. But, they're obviously in a really good position here for game one of our winners semifinals.
Yeah.
And the secret to their gameplay. Did you see what I did? Yeah, that's insane. I literally just laughed so hard at my own joke because that's what I do. They've got a good shot here taking game one.
Yeah, what's your thoughts so far, Taylor? Predictions obviously looking pretty solid for us, but what's your thoughts right now? What's the thought process?
First off, for everybody, which was nobody in chat who chose Team Reflections, I just want to say thank you for the support. Second off, I just want to say, unfortunately, it looks like we were wrong, boys. But I just want to say, Avxry and OP,
singles.
I want to know what happened to Avxry. That's my biggest thing because
Legion explained it, man. He was rocking the Nintendo / the Xbox Connect.
It was a hybrid, actually.
But all seriousness aside, I'm very curious as to what's going to happen, or if the official ruling is they're just going to let him play it out. I mean, OP obviously was playing it out, but he's even disconnected from the lobby himself. This is a big round, so kind of curious if we can go ahead and get an update that from production at least later on and find out what happened. But he's working on it because I know you guys in the chat are curious yourselves as to what's going on here. Good little strat.
Wow, this is pyramid on another level of what we like to refer to as nerdom. That's something I'm going to be utilizing on another level, actually. So this is what I love about casting this event, and this is for anybody that's at home or perhaps watching on your lunch break or while you're working and your boss doesn't know that you're watching it right now. You can learn so much from these guys just by watching these tournaments. I've seen it every time. This is no joke. Every time that I cast one of these events with you guys, I go home and I think to myself, I'm going to land on these houses right next to Risky Reels. And guess what? Everybody else that happened to be watching the tournament is doing the same exact thing, mimicking every professional player, streamer, entertainer, dropping it. And of course, if you don't know, I steal strategies because I can't make my own. I'm not smart enough, Landon.
I'm not either, unfortunately. Yeah, like I said, literally word for word, every time after we obviously commentate these Friday Fortnite tournaments, I'm like, wow, I'm totally going to add that to implement that to my gameplay. It happens to be that 100,000 other people happen to be thinking the exact same thing. So yeah, it's great to see a lot of these implemented things, a lot of these kind of typical strats come through, and all the pro players like, yeah, we've known these things for 3 or 4 months, and by the time that I know it, it's already happens to be the main thing, and it never really works out for me. But hey, you're watching at home, you never know. You might spot something that you can add to your gameplay, you can implement it, and most of the time it's going to work out in your favor. But it happens to not work out for me because I happen to at least at nights be the worst player in all of Fortnite itself.
I actually choose to only play between the hours of noon and 3 p.m. Mostly because that is when the normals are awake, and then about 11 o'clock at night, the gargoyles come out onto the servers and ruin any hopes and dreams of getting consistent victories and dubs in a row here. Also, I'm just saying, afternoon Switch, give it a try, folks. You're going to love the experience. I'm talking, you might be able to play with your feet and potentially still get some victories based off of my performance yesterday. In its first week, it's its week of infancy. In 2 days, it already had 2.5 million downloads.
I saw that. That's insane. 2.5 million downloads in 48 hours. That's unheard of. This is Fortnite. You know what I'm saying?
Fish.
This is
Fortnite.
This is definitely Fortnite, boys. Score update. We're looking at Mongraal on your screen, still sitting at 0 kills. I'm assuming Domentos is right around the same. I don't think they've had too many engagements. Finally, they're going to be working their way over to Salty, and an engagement is, in fact, going to go down as a tree does go down. That's a universal sign. Hey, there's somebody mining for resources just up ahead. And now we're going to get to see Mongraal. I want to see this aggressiveness come out. Great building so far, at least with those ramps coming in with the walls as well. Not easy to take out, but still taking a lot of damage, having to back up. He says, you know what, let me take a step back here because this team that we're going off against, it's got some decent shots. Still, as they see, they're going to let the fight come to them.
You also see, the great awareness coming in from Mongraal and Domentos to realize, hey, our flank is wide open. There's a squad of 4 probably coming at us. We only see 2 or 3 at our front side. There's got to be someone at the back, and of course, applying the backboards, ready to go. A few players that actually happen to be parachuting in, as there's quite a few engagements taking place. Only 18 HP right now for Mongraal. Desperately needs to try and mat himself up. He will fall.
And
this is the most Domentos does as well.
Yep, this is exactly what Avxry and OP wanted, okay? So from what I was getting, at least update in the chat, Avxry, in fact, just died. And then OP, unfortunately, he died as well early on in the game. So if you're Avxry and you're OP, you got to be thinking, wow, I'm extremely happy because now we have a chance. I believe they only have to, get
1 kill?
1 kill because they got the knocks, but they didn't pick up the kill. So
it's an even game.
It's basically
it's 100% an even game, and this is so interesting too. In winners finals, we're going to see a game 2 where we're basically all tied up. So we haven't seen a tie, at least in a couple weeks here, of me being able to cast with you guys. So I wouldn't even mind seeing a game 3 potentially.
That'd be great.
Or game 17. You never know; it could just be tied forever.
It'd be fantastic.
I could actually have a gray beard by the end of today's Friday Fortnite tournament, which would be in 2036.
Wow.
Yeah,
that is the time.
That was quick math.
Well, no, it's not even that. It's just he sees the future because the G Fuel has allowed him to do so.
It has elevated me
to new heights.
To new heights.
To new heights.
We said the same phrase 3 times in a row. You already knew that, of course.
I knew that because of the cherry limeade.
Right. Yeah.
Well, going into second round, boys, what are you thinking so far in terms of overall strategies for the 2 teams we've seen? What kind of drop did we – well, actually, we saw a shifty drop, and that's pretty typical of Avxry and his teammate OP to be dropping over there. I'm assuming they're going to go same strategy, probably go shifty once again. But Team Secret, they're kind of that wild card team. We still don't know too much about them.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of curious to know where they're going to be landing for that rotation. But only getting 1 kill, that's kind of concerning because now I'm thinking like, wow, how's the second round going to go? All of a sudden they're going to drop, 50 bombs? I don't know. I mean, go from one extreme to the other. It could happen, but still, though, this is by far one of the most interesting final rounds that we've had.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because we talk about the 3 out of the 4 players in this particular tournament haven't made it to the winners finals, let alone haven't even played in Friday Fortnite either. So it's pretty crazy that we have a big change up when it comes into week number 6, which we're kind of used to the same cast, the phases, the TSMs, Thief and Typical Gamer, Ninja, etc. Like those particular players always involved with winners finals. Not this week. Week number 6 has given us a much different outlook on the current competitive atmosphere of our Friday Fortnite tournaments, and I'm very excited to see. Maybe we can have some more Team Secret, maybe OP if he can't team up with Avxry next week. Of course, that typical combination of Noah J and Avxry as per usual. But maybe if he can team up with a high distortion for next week, I don't know, just something like that. It'd be great to see. But yeah, we're seeing some top level squads that we're not usually having a chance to put the spotlight on. So I'm pretty hyped about it.
I'd love to see OP come back, whether or not it's with Avxry or with with another player. I just feel like he plays on such a fast sensitivity here. It seems like he's able to just snap on players and opponents. Also, I think he's actually playing on the sun. It is very bright in that room. I like to play in the dark like a vampire, I think, occasionally.
Actually.
So, yeah, it's very much so.
Maybe like a little bit of a lamp, like a nightlight in the background. But for the most part, yeah, pretty much all straight up darkness. Yeah.
I was actually looking at Tim's stream earlier, and I just noticed how dark his stream really is. But that's kind of his style.
He is surrounded by penguins,
I feel like he's the kind of guy that would go to like a real heavy metal concert and just be headbanging so hard that his head comes off.
His hair would grow back.
Yeah, and he rotates it and puts it back on. Because Tim goes hard in everything. We saw him last week absolutely perform like just a beast.
Yes.
And, of course, we saw him do extremely well at the charity tournament that was going on this week as well. And, of course, we don't get to see what Domentos is doing, but there's a part of me that believes that empty square box with the sponsor flashes, it's really him there.
Probably is, yeah. He's definitely living through those. He could be the Eagle, to be honest with you. Not exactly sure, but I believe it's going to be a 1-kill advantage for Avxry and OP heading into this game. So essentially it's a level playing field. There's not much of a difference. Of course, that kill can come into pass, but as far as the loadouts, the original kind of strategy, the landing zones, it seems as if Domentos and Mongraal, a.k.a. half of Team Secret, is making their way in toward Tilted Towers, and for Avxry and OP, they're going to be landing just outside of the old soccer field. So pretty interesting strats, totally different ideas for the beginning off the break. Of course, we talked about Avxry and OP, the typical kind of laid-back strat. For Team Secret, they're going all in.
Yes, they definitely are. And, of course, this could be a very, very risky strategy. In fact, if they go down early, this, of course, is a $7,000 minimum round. So this is a huge round for these two. But I got to respect the confidence from the two young guns coming in and to try and make an impact overall. Avxry, though, taking it very slow, going over towards soccer field. This is this is something that at least we expect from the Shifty Soccer. This is kind of one of their areas to go to. But they're not far from Tilted, which means they'll be able to meet up. But I think they're going to kind of play it safe, get some loot, maybe a kill or two if anybody's in that area. But more importantly, I think I would be scoping out, where is Domentos and Mongraal? They're at Tilted. You think they're going to last?
I like the L's drop on Tilted. That's actually where I drop almost every game that I play, and I feel like it's the rotation on the map here. You're able to go to brick. You know it's multi-level. There's at least one chest in there usually. Rotate there through garage, maybe basketball, then make your way into taco, and you're able to scout out the entire map. And as you can see, nobody landed with him on this side of the map. Finally getting some decent loot as they're just trying to find a person. I mean, he was even looking over there. You saw that random build right outside of L's where he dropped that L wall, and I don't know. Where's everybody at, Taylor? Are they having a birthday party they weren't invited to?
I'm kind of curious myself. We just saw on Mongraal screen, Domentos was able to pick up a kill, so that at least is going to be one in their back pocket. We do see shots fired. Domentos is picking up at least a lot of engagements here. And I do believe he just picked up a knock. If not a knock, he picked up a kill, but he did, in fact, get somebody down. So they are finding engagements, but they're very few and far in between, especially something you would not expect from Tilted. But, with Tilted, it's kind of one of those things where people will always be there, but the amount of people varies drastically. Sometimes it can be stacked with a lot of people. Sometimes there won't be but maybe one team there, right? So it just kind of depends. But the big thing that I want to know is Avxry and OP, where are they going to rotate to? They're still, like you said, they're playing it safe. I think they're trying to see, will Domentos and Mongraal drop in Tilted? But if they do, they're going to come out of pool area, kit it up fairly well, decent shields, looking pretty good to continue the engagements.
Mongraal's ability to not waste material, even in that last gunfight, unfortunately they're both taken out, but it seems like almost every map placement is about as precise as you can possibly get. It seems like he's really able to just hone in on when and where, so he's not in those gunfights and lacking. But, of course, you're going to see him here now finally getting fired upon from Weird Al's, as I'm going to call it over there. Weird Al Yankovic is actually a favorite place to land. He plays this
I actually like that one a lot.
And let's see, spots a player here on Trump, just gets boogie bombed again, arched boogie bomb. Whoever is throwing these in today's matches, are you actually Tom Brady?
Or Kobe Bryant.
That's actually been in the same situation as well here at Tilted Towers, just outside of this exact same position. But yeah, nice plays coming in there from Team Secret. As kind of going back to what you said, they're doing a great job at making sure that they don't kind of utilize too many of those resources from time to time. And on top of that as well, doing a great job at favoring what happens to be a big facet in this game is that high ground control. So teams like TSM do a phenomenal job. If you ever want to watch a way to enter into an engagement when it comes into solos, duos, squads, etc., Watch Hamlin's. Hamlin's is always fully aware. The whole TSM squad is as well, at making sure he always has the high ground, always having the height advantage in multiple facets and multiple situations. He always is looking down at the enemy and putting himself in a position to succeed. And it's great to see Team Secret also utilizing that same strategy. It, like, multiple things like that really kind of propels the pros from the regular players.
And you could definitely tell that these two have chemistry together. I mean, the way that they're rotating on this map, every push is a unified one.
It's calculated.
A lot of the times you see players push together, and one of the mistakes you'll see a lot more on the amateur side of players do is that they kind of get too compact with each other, right? So they're able to kind of catch that bullet spread. These guys, they're staying spaced enough to where if they need assistance, they can help each other out, but they're not close enough to where they're going to be getting obliterated by the same dude, able to just, sweep over and take a shot. And, of course, I feel like they haven't ran into a full squad until right now, and finally they're going to take an engagement over here by this small little gazebo where that guy is going to be scared out of his mind trying to look at the park bench and says, "Papa, is this it?" And unfortunately, it was.
And Avxry and OP decide to rotate over to Greasy, a strategy we've been seeing throughout this tournament, which surprised all of us. But that's the spot where they like to go. There's a spot that a lot of teams have been going to, and I think it just comes to the fact they go shifty, they go Greasy. They know there's not going to be a lot of engagements, and it's kind of a safer route to get kitted up, get some little kills, maybe steal the loot from those kills that you get. But shots are going to be fired. We do get another knock, and kills have been going down left and right. They've managed to found at least one team so far. They're going to pick up 3 kills, but still, Mongraal, Team Secret, they have the lead currently as they have found and still surviving in Tilted.
And one thing that I like that we're seeing from Mongraal from time to time, I know some people in the chat have been asking, like, why is he putting down the pyramid? What he's doing is essentially being fully aware of what Legion mentioned a second ago, which is that resource awareness. So many teams, so many squads, amateur squads, whatever it really may be, lack the resource awareness. And we talk about recent patches that, of course, take place. It makes it even more of a factor to be aware of, hey, how many ramps do I have? How many mats am I good to have when it comes down to the later stages of this game? Because we talk about, like I said, the recent patches that have come through, it's a lot easier to shoot those ramps down. Basically, when it comes down to build fights, the recent patches have allowed it to be a lot more difficult to gain those resources toward the late game in certain situations. And we talk about Fortnite. It's a game of building. It's a battle royale game, but there's like half of it, if not more, is totally on the factor of building in this game, and not having the correct resources, not fully aware of your amount that you have, can absolutely be a huge downfall for a lot of players. So what we're seeing coming through from this team is absolutely excellent. The ability to put down that pyramid, which we've seen a lot of teams do in the past too, but making sure he doesn't have to use 5 ramps to make sure he can take a med kit so that he can take a shield. Instead, he puts down 1, and then he can take the shield in that situation to kind of med up and get ready to go. It's excellent resource awareness coming in from Team Secret.
I mean, it literally saves you almost 50 material, right? And then you're looking at Mongraal here on the bottom left. This guy going up the staircase in order to escape this gunfight knows that the opponents had height advantage, manages to drop 5 mats, blocking at pretty much every entrance they could possibly have, even if they cut in, to where they're going to be forced to actually have to break down, which in a strategic position, that lets you know where they're actually going to be at. If you lose them for a height advantage, you watch Mongraal, he's just going inside, waiting for them to take the bait, come in and chase him, and he knows what the builds are because guess what? He's put him together. Edits are so important, and I just can't stress enough how impressed I am with Mongraal's building abilities.
Yeah, not only that, his edit as well. I mean, he's definitely a great player, and I want to see how he's going to push this opponent that was just building above him, but for some reason he actually goes down for his teammates. Does spot a player, takes a lot of damage, but gets the knock. And his teammate, while he is in fact going to be healing up, getting in those minis, his teammate is in fact going to be out there getting the loot, but of course bullets are going to be raining down, and they're going to have to try and find the players that were building just above them. But the survivability of these 2 players is absolutely phenomenal. And look at how poised they are. They're going to go ahead and edit out. They know there's a player above them. Now, how they push this player is going to be extremely crucial and important. This is when the high ground is going to be very important overall. Let's see how they're able to overtake the high ground from this opponent that's above them.
And as you can see, patience is so key, and that's what I'm talking about. We're already seeing some kind of veteran plays out of these young guns here, is that they're not being overly aggressive, just trying to build out and take those peak shots. They're making sure that they heal up, get the correct weapons that they need. You saw him pick up that legendary shotgun, and they're making their way out. Once again, he knows. They know where they're positioned here on the map in brick. All they're trying to do is fight their way out of garage here and then take the shots when it's necessary.
And one thing that's great for Team Secret, and honestly, fantastic plays from them. We talked about them landing in Tilted with it being a kill difference in total. One elimination separates both of these squads. They go Tilted. Very risky strategy, but it is without question work for them for the most part. Also, got to take a quick look at the overall minimap. It's going to be toward the far west side of the Fortnite map, which of course is going to be run Snobby Shores, Greasy Grove, Top Mountain, etc. So this is going to be an awkward transition for both of these teams, going toward an area where it's not too prominent, it's not too known, and of course along with it, Avxry and OP, who are making the full-on jaunt across the entirety of the map, they're going to land for a short time, take a quick little vacation inside Tilted Tower to try to grab a few of these kills from Team Secret as well. Great strategy coming in from Avxry and OP, but the entire lobby, all four of these boys, need to get going here soon because that landing drop, or really the position for a lot of the players on the map right now is totally changed up. There's still quite a few players remaining in an area that's not too prominent when it comes down to the ending zones. You're going to have to try to, from a competitive standpoint, from Team Secret, they're used to a lot of these spots, right? They're used to kind of going to prominent landing zones, different areas and whatnot of the map. You're going to have to kind of develop some interesting strategies when it comes down to being on the far left side of the map. Snobby Shores, it's great, but I'm not sure if there's a whole lot of developed strategies regarding late game.
We see a lot of fighting going down as Avxry and OP are going to be on the hills of Team Secret. Of course, OP, though, needs to pick up this kill, and he's been having a hard time with this player, and he does go down, and now it's going to leave it up to Avxry, who is low in health as well, and he goes down. And mind you, with both of them down, they only equal to 4 kills. We see 5 on the left just for Mongraal. No, Domentos has kills himself. Okay. Mongraals and Domentos from Team Secret are going to be moving on to the finals. They just secured their spot to get $7,000.
And that's such a rough death from OP. I mean, incredible building abilities to even get out of that. But unfortunately, sometimes when you've just got too many people, you got a full squad in one of those gunfights, if they're also proficient in building, they're going to trick you in edits the same way you're trying to trick those opponents. So good games to them, of course, and obviously great games to Domentos and Mongraal as they do end up taking it, as my prediction of the future and Landon's ended up being correct here.
Oh, shoot, it was. Crap. I totally forgot we even did that.
Taylor's wasn't, and that's not his fault. It's just that he should trust.
And
he should trust the process.
Domentos also just happens to drop. So what perfect timing, right, for Team Secret to escape with that. Domentos does get the full knockdown, and just like that, like I said, Team Secret will, of course, still continue to move on. But that's the thing, right? And I guarantee you, when it comes to the future tournaments, Avxry, he doesn't go tilted for a reason. He hates going tilted, apparently, regarding a lot of his landing zones. Granted, they do on occasion with him and Noah J kind of hang out on the outskirts and kind of look from afar. But they go quickly toward Tilted Towers just to take a gander, right? A quick vacation, just to try to steal a few frags heading into what is that west side landing zone. They land there for what, 5-6 seconds. They start to leave, and they get taken down. And that's so unfortunate to see come in.